Welcome to the motherfucking lady. We're covering today's top boxing news.
Okay, we'll start with this, our recap of what was the Ryan Rozicki versus Chris Billam-Smith cruiserweight Zuffa fight that lived up to my expectations. I knew, with neither one of these guys being a sugarfoot fighter, a mover, or a jabber, this fight promises to be pure fireworks, and that's exactly what it was from the opening round, where Ryan Rozicki lived up to his reputation and immediately started swarming the former champion, who, in spite of having some advantages going in, was still coming off of over a year of inactivity, and you could see that in the opening stanza. Ryan Rozicki had the right idea. He started mugging him right away. It was Ryan Rozicki's best bet to jump right on him and don't give him the chance to settle in. He landed a hard left hook and a big right hand all in the first round, which I gave him. And I was on my way to giving him the second round, if not for the point deduction for what were the roughhouse tactics on the inside, the placement of Ryan Rozicki's head in the clinch, which he was warned about several times. It definitely costed him the second round, but when you think about it in terms of strategy, where Ryan's trying to finish the fight early, he's not trying to go to a decision. The roughhouse tactics were more of a chef's kiss than a tactical deficiency, because Ryan knew he's not likely to win a decision, so he's not trying to get there. He's trying to break Chris Billam-Smith down, break his will. That costed him the second round. But I gave Ryan Rozicki the first round, gave Billam-Smith the second due to the point deduction, and Chris finally starts settling in the third, where he was more composed, working off the counter, landing his shots. He landed a really big one in the third round that rocked Ryan Rozicki. I don't know how he stood on his feet. The fighter who models himself after Jack Dempsey, you could see why in the third. Gave the third round to Chris Billam-Smith. I gave the fourth round to Chris Billam-Smith off the clean work, the clean counters, the cleaner punches. Still a bit worse for wear, though. I mean, he did look tired. Because even in the rounds that Chris was winning, he was still taking punishment, so was Ryan. Chris was just marginally better, so I gave the third round to Chris, the fourth round to Chris, the fifth round to Ryan. Off of his trademark pressure and activity, where Chris Billam-Smith looked a bit spent, he looked a bit tired, he wasn't doing a lot in the fifth round. In the sixth, Chris Billam-Smith gets back to landing those clean counters and combinations. I gave Chris Billam-Smith the sixth round, and I was about to give Ryan the seventh, if not for Chris Billam-Smith stealing it from him at the end, landing a monster right hand. Telling you, I don't know how Ryan stayed on his feet. And a salvo of punches, a salvo of clean punches, to where I just don't know what Ryan Rozicki's chin is made out of. The finishing combo to finish the round that I think edged it for Chris Billam-Smith, finishing Ryan Rozicki, who did not come out for the eighth round. And so the prediction more or less stuck. I had Chris Billam-Smith winning a decision. He went a step further and won a TKO stoppage. Post-fight, Ryan Rozicki took to his social media and stated, "I always said I'd rather be stopped in an exciting fight than win a boring one. Congrats to Chris Billam-Smith and his team. An absolute honor to share the ring with a true world champion and an absolute gentleman. We both ended up in the hospital. I wish you nothing but the best. Enjoy your family time now, champ. Thank you, Zuffa Boxing, for giving me the opportunity to have the kind of fight I've been wanting for many years. I would have went to the death last night, but my coach made the decision that I will never protest. My corner saw something they didn't like, though we all know I would have kept going to the end. Live to fight another day." Sean George, we're just getting started. I hope everyone enjoyed the fight. Like I said, it was going to be violent, and I believe that it was. Dana White, I'm ready to go again. To which Zuffa's official Instagram account replied, "Rest up, and we'll see you again soon." Because there is such a thing as a losing with dignity. Like Danny Jacobs lost to Gennady Golovkin with his dignity. Ryan did with his. Derek Chisora, he does it all the time. Because so long as you entertain the crowd and put on a good show, you make yourself useful. After this, I could go for Ryan Rozicki versus Brendan Glenton, right here in the United States. Tell you something about a fight like that and a fight like this past weekend's fight. You're gonna draw more people, more casual observers to a boxing match with that than any of these highfalutin, overpaid, overrated elites and Sugarfoot fighters, all of which model their careers after Floyd Mayweather.
You don't go up to anybody on any side street or boulevard, show them a Devin Haney fight, show them a Shakur Stevenson fight, and make them a boxing fan. You just don't do it because it don't happen.
It's the truth. People don't watch combat sports for that kind of shit. That's more of an acquired taste, to where maybe over time you can come to appreciate those subtleties, but generally that's not what draws people to combat sports.
It's the brutality.
Or don't you notice that in the era that followed the Floyd Mayweather era, as more and more fighters tried to model their careers after his, their styles,
Boxing dwindled in America.
Now, there are several outlying factors to boxing's decline in this country, but that definitely is one of them. The fighters weren't showing the gut and the grit that they used to.
They're still not.
Because where a young American fighter might be modeling himself after a Floyd Mayweather, who, even in his heyday, at the height of his popularity, was described as safety first, boring.
That's what you end up emulating.
A Ryan Rozicki models himself after a Jack Dempsey.
Now here's the twist. The guys modeling themselves after Floyd aren't going to be Floyd any more than Ryan is going to be Jack Dempsey. The difference, however, one guy is just a lot more entertaining to watch, and I would go as far as saying that boxing needs more Ryan Rozickis than Mayweather wannabes, than carbon copies of what was a boring fighter at the height of his popularity, even if he was wildly successful.
He had an adverse effect on the industry, an adverse effect on the sport that now sees it dwindling in America now. America needs more fighters that want to be fighters, not fighters that want to be rappers or real estate moguls.
Fighters who want to fight.
Like to fight, because those are the fighters that can bring boxing back to the forefront of the sporting world, at least in the United States. You pay a lot more to get a Devin Haney in the ring, or a Shakur Stevenson in the ring, a Teofimo in the ring, than you do for these two guys. But these two guys put on a better show.
So what does that tell you?
I think you could go up to a casual boxing fan, show them this fight, and get them to want more, watch more. Whereas if you showed them your average Devin Haney or Shakur Stevenson fight,
Boxing doesn't need more of that shit.
so hats off to the fighters and the promotion, the matchmakers that put this one together. I said when they announced it, they knew what they were doing. This is going to be fireworks, and that's what it was. So I took to social media to sing Zuffa Boxing's praises for what was a thoroughly entertaining main event, to which a guy who goes by the name Barry13 responded, "Great fights, but also don't forget what can happen with Zuffa. One fight in and guys are fired. Great job, security." Andre Ward was talking about. Nobody made any posts about this, pointing me in the direction of a disgruntled fighter who goes by the name Erickson Garcia Box, who took to his own social media and said, "I want to let you know that following my last fight against Andre Cortez, Zuffa decided to release me. I am grateful for the opportunity they gave me and for all the support I received during that time. My focus remains the same, to continue my career at the highest level and take on the best available challenges. I'm ready to return to the ring and am open to offers from any promoter interested in my services. If a serious opportunity arises to showcase my talent, I am prepared to accept it. Thank you to all my fans, sponsors, family, and team for standing by me. This is not the end of anything. It is simply the start of a new chapter. See you back in action soon."
So a fighter got cut.
If what the biggest indictment against Zuffa is now, that they cut a fighter after said fighter lost a fight, I hate to break the news to you, but that happens all the time. It's been happening since before Zuffa Boxing's launch. I can remember when a then unbeaten Carlos Adames dropped a decision to Patrick Teixeira on the Top Rank side of things, and Top Rank cut him right after that.
Didn't they do the same thing to Joshua Greer?
Or was it Duke Reagan? I remember after standout amateur Mark Castro lost his first fight on Matchroom, they cut him. They dropped him. He fought this weekend, but it wasn't on a Matchroom show.
Isn't that the kid who looks like Elon Musk?
To where if the biggest indictment now against Zuffa is that they cut a fighter after said fighter lost a fight, promoters have been doing that for years and are still doing that now. What standard are we trying to hold Zuffa Boxing to? A higher standard than the promoters that were already here? That doesn't make sense.
We're supposed to get mad that they cut Erickson Garcia after he lost a fight.
So what about when a fighter doesn't lose a fight, but they get cut anyway? What about a fighter like Jayo Pataya?
That guy didn't lose to anybody. He was still a reigning champion at the time that Matchroom decided they did not want to renew with him.
What about unbeaten up-and-comer Daniil Yelusinov of Kazakhstan? He didn't lose to anybody at the time that Matchroom decided to cut him. Michael Hunter was cut after a draw, not even a loss.
A draw with Povetkin.
So we're supposed to be in our tits that Zuffa Boxing discarded Erickson Garcia? Promotional outfits in the sport of boxing still and have always reserved the right to discard fighters for whatever reasons they decide. Where Matchroom decided to stay in the Conor Benn business after he popped hot for a banned substance, they didn't take that stance with Nikose Solomon.
He popped for a banned substance too. Why didn't he get the same consideration that Conor got?
A good number of fighters that started out on Matchroom years ago did not stay with the promotion. They were cut for various reasons, so that if Zuffa Boxing has now decided to cut Erickson Garcia, that's hardly a headline story. That's hardly news.
Just reads like nitpicking.
The initial indictment was that Dana White is going to bring that UFC structure to boxing and fighters are going to be underpaid.
Only to find out that the fighters over there are making more money than they were before, that they're kicking out $15 million to Conor Benn.
Suddenly, the overworked and underpaid narrative is unable to stick, so they've got to move on to something else. Then it becomes about the monopoly that could form as a result of Zuffa's entry into the boxing space, as if there hasn't been a monopoly in the sport already. The racketeering of the alphabet organizations, two in particular that seem to do whatever they want, whenever they want, and nobody can stop them.
I'm not telling you that Zuffa Boxing is perfect, or that Zuffa Boxing is the answer to all of boxing's woes.
It probably isn't, but you can't come to me with these individual complaints about what's supposedly wrong with Zuffa when that was wrong with boxing before Zuffa got here.
That Zuffa Boxing cut a fighter after he lost?
Well, what do you think Matchroom did to Danny Roman after he lost to MJ Akhmadaliev?
I'm not even saying it's wrong. I'm saying it happens. It's been happening. So why is it supposed to be different when Zuffa does it?
Near as I could tell, Zuffa put on a thoroughly entertaining card that would not have costed the boxing fan anything extra. It's everything you want in a boxing match, in a fight, and now people are scrambling to find fault with them, to find what's wrong with Zuffa.
What's wrong with you is the better question.
Just sit the fuck down and enjoy the fights, alright?
He basically said Eddie Hearn's full of shit. He cares about Aspinall. I'm paraphrasing a little bit now because my journalistic skills ain't that great. He cares more about getting Aspinall paid, but he didn't care about Conor Benn getting paid. That was kind of his words. Now, I'm paraphrasing a little bit.
I'll paraphrase that for the fucking Maris Piperhead and tell him, basically, when Conor Benn went, he said he should be happy for Conor Benn because we should want the fighters to get as much money as possible. But you don't want Tom Aspinall to get as much money as possible. You want to rob Tom Aspinall. That's what you want to do. You want to give Tom Aspinall around 1/50th of the revenue because you're an absolute disgrace to UFC fighters. And all you're worried about consistently is the bottom line. So it's nothing to do with wanting Conor Benn to get paid. The only gripe I have with Conor Benn is how he approached the situation. I'm very happy for fighters to get paid. And if he's happy for fighters to get paid, then let's have a conversation about Tom Aspinall. But no one ever questions anything about, you all sit there like plums and go, oh, Dana, oh, yeah, your body of work's unbelievable. What is the fucking body of work? Absolutely nothing. Oh, you've done twice as many shows, Dana, as everyone else, have you? Oh, gobble, gobble, oh, unbelievable. No, it's just lies. Lies, 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 lies.
And Eddie Hearn's been talking again this week. He says he won't let Tom Aspinall fight under the current terms of his UFC contract. He signed a management contract with him. What's your response to that?
You said that you want him released, right? Yeah, you release Bam Rodriguez then. Sounds pretty stupid, doesn't it? Congratulations again, Eddie. You sound stupid again.
Dana, just back here, pro boxing fans. You said for the last few weeks that you're promoting the Joshua Fury fight. Eddie Hearn, Frank Warren, and Fury's manager Spencer Brown have all said that's not part of the contract. Are they all lying?
Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury have been saying you're promoting that fight. Your managers are saying otherwise.
Have they announced where that fight is?
No.
I know where it is.
Where is it? If you are the lead promoter for the show, are they involved? Would they be part of the promotion? Are they at the fights?
I just told this young lady here, watch what happens over the next 30 days.
They specifically said that the contract states that Zuffa Boxing cannot promote.
You think that I would publicly lie?
Well, that's what.
And
that's
then
what
look like
say.
a fucking idiot in front of everybody?
So do you believe that?
Do you believe that I would?
I don't know if you
What
would.
would be the point of that? I was lying, everybody. I got you, right? What would be the point of that?
Are they going to look silly?
Call Eddie right now and ask him if he knows where the fight is.
Are they going to look silly once?
Call Eddie and ask him who negotiated the contract for the fight. Wasn't him. You got any other questions?
I think the most sobering take on the entire Joshua versus Fury promotional situation and who's really at the helm of that promotion came from MVP's Nikisa Badarian, who doesn't have a horse in the race, but knows the game about as well as they do. And what Nikisa had to say about it was, being a service provider with no ownership of the P&L means you are not the promoter. All Ring, Riyadh season events, Ring, Riyadh is the actual promoter and owner of the event. They may use you to do promotional services, contract with some entities, and have you stand up in front of the cameras, but the promoter is Ring Magazine and Riyadh Season. Canelo versus Crawford was a Ring Magazine, Riyadh Season event. Joshua versus Fury will be the same. Who contracts with entities? Who stands between the fighters? That is just dressing. Now we know the truth.
And so is that Dana White's role in all of this? Is he little more than an independent contractor contracted to do the grunt work?
Was actually my old college roommate, Quentin D. Lilly, who astutely pointed out, here's my thing about believing anything Dana says. Didn't he say he was the promoter of Fury versus Makhmudov, but didn't even bother to show up?
That's true. And the registered promoter for that show is not Dana White, UFC, or Zuffa Boxing, it's Spencer Brown.
Q continued, Dana also said they sold 6,000 tickets last night at a venue that holds less than 2,500. At what point can we question Dana about his lies?
We had a saying about stuff like this in the old country. When engaged in a pissing contest, you really can't be surprised if some of it gets on your pants.
What? What the fuck does that mean?
It means that Dana White and Eddie Hearn are enthralled in a pissing contest with each other, and so things are getting messy the way that they're supposed to. Nothing surprising there. If Dana White is exaggerating about things a bit, that's no shocker.
On the flip side, it's no shocker if Eddie Hearn is doing the same thing or not willing to admit that Dana White is making inroads into the sport.
It's a pissing contest. What do you expect?
And I'm here for all of it. I enjoy the soap opera in between fights between Eddie Hearn and Dana White, who I think jointly are raising each other's game. That elevates the promotion in such a way that it otherwise wouldn't if they didn't have each other to worry about, each other to compete with. I'm not picking sides. I like Eddie, but I also like what Dana is doing, the stir that he's creating, and I'm here for all of it.
All of it!
Who else was Dana gonna compete with? Who else was Eddie gonna compete with? Bob is getting on in age. Oscar is a train wreck. The PBC has been in shambles for years now.
Eddie and Frank are now bosom buddies, frolicking naked in the forest together.
So who else was gonna light a fire under Eddie's ass, if not Dana White, and vice versa?
I'm not stuck on picking sides. I'm a boxing fan first, and all of this is good for me.
Because all of it provides me with entertainment, and perhaps an even better product than it would have been if not for them having to compete with each other.
I'm all for it.